being with us today. We'll be back with you later on. Right now, let's welcome good old Mitchie back to the commentary booth.
Thank you very much, Nick. And how's everything going up here?
You know, like after 6 days of waiting, it's a great thing to be watching people surfing this event. At last, been a long wait. Let's see who opens up on this heat. It looks to me like it's Timmy Reyes. Well, he thought about a barrel, couldn't find it, and hooked around for an amazing first turn there. Timmy working his way onto the inside and blowing out the tail on his last turn. Man, this guy means business.
Yeah, he certainly does. 2007 wasn't so kind to him, had a few injuries, but he's back in 2008. And by the looks of that one, as you said, looks very, very solid. Yeah,
really, really solid. Nice ride there from Timmy, and that's going to challenge the judges, man, because they haven't had to face too many turns so far today. The highest scoring wave of the heat was in the last heat. Thiago Perez got an awesome little barrel, scored a 9.17, and that's kind of been setting the tone so far, barrels, but Timmy just let go on that first turn. We'll have a look on a replay in a moment, I'm sure.
As we see a little bit of action out the front, paddle, surfer in black, not electing to catch that wave. Wasn't quite big enough.
No. A little bit short in the shoulder, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now at the back. Looks like he's going to go this one. No, leaves it alone. Aritz Aranburu, all the way from Basqueville.
Yeah, the Basque country over there. But good to see Aritz in the event. It wasn't confirmed that he was going to actually surf because he has a very bad injury at the moment, a bad ankle. But right now we're going to go to the replay, that great display of surfing from Timmy Reyes.
Check this out. Total free fall from underneath the lip, backside, comes around it, recovers beautifully, a quick speed turn, and bam, throws the tail out, but then digs the nose in on the recovery. But just looking so casual, he didn't look like he was really freaking out about that at all.
No, a very calm and collected competitor. He's actually one of the biggest chargers we've seen out of California in some time. He's a standout at Pipeline. When the swell gets up, he's definitely charging. There's a couple of epic photos of him at Backdoor last season.
Mm-hmm.
Just always turning heads over there on the North Shore. Plenty of time remaining in this one. 27 minutes on the clock. First of white, a 3.17. You put that down to he didn't complete the last manoeuvre.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure it would have been up around the 5.5 without that. Still, you know, that'll have loosened things up for Timmy. Timmy's got Kelly Slater in the channel actually pulling the caddy number for him. Andy Irons out there in red who's got Mark Ogalupo as his caddy. So this heat has a couple of world champions as caddy and a world champion in the water.
So we've got 11 world titles in the water right now.
Yeah, that's just absurd.
So I take it Kelly Slater's here then?
Yeah, Kelly's here. He did get here in time. Probably out there, I think, right now, just to kind of shake off a few of the cobwebs. And the man in red out there right now is famed for his amazing duels with Kelly Slater over the years. And, you know, lately it seems like their rivalry's mellowed a little bit, and he's got a few words to tell us about that.
I don't know. I like to win. I like to win no matter what. And when Kelly was there, he definitely was a driving force for me. He made me try harder than I ever would have with anyone else, just because of who he is and what he's done in the sport. And seeing him winning again just definitely makes me, envious and makes me want to get back on the top and do well. And, I'm trying my hardest with what I'm doing. I'm just trying to surf good and stay, fit, stay healthy, and stay, motivated. And he's definitely, doing what I want to be doing, which is winning. I want to be on the top. I want to, go for the title. I want to, take Kelly on.
As we see live action, that's surfer in white. Timmy Reyes getting busy on his back end, but unfortunately didn't get a tube right out the back. It's not going to be a big score. As we wait for that score to get locked in, we're going to cross to the channel. I believe GT has got the winner of that last heat.
I'm sitting here with heat winner Thiago Perez. First of all, congratulations, bro. Your first heat on tour. You won.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Really happy. Bummer it wasn't like a really fun heat to watch. There was not many waves coming. I was really lucky because I didn't start with the priority, and then the guys, they went on 2 waves, and then the third one was the best one, and I just surfed it, and I was pretty good on actually. So I was just lucky. and then I managed to get a good second backup score, so I was pretty comfortable all the heat. So bummer for the guys; they didn't have much chance to come back. So one of those heats.
Well, one man's pain is another man's pleasure. Let's talk about that 917.
Oh, it's a sick wave. I just saw the wave really coming from the west. Like eating the boats almost. I was like, is it gonna close out? I gotta go anyway. So there's not many waves coming. So that one was a pretty sizable wave. So I just had to go. And once I was inside the barrel, it was all so perfect and clear. And I knew I was gonna come out because it's so perfect. So it felt really good.
How amazing is this amphitheater when you're in the lineup and we're all sitting here just basically almost slapping fives with you? It's unlike anything in the world.
I think it's the best surf show in the world. Anyone that can be here and have a look at this contest is going to be fortunate, and it's going to be having the time of their lives because it's really, really amazing views.
Well, congratulations on your heat win. Hopefully, me and you'll be talking a lot more as this event progresses, but we'll have to take a little breather because you made it to the third round. Congrats.
All right, thank you, Gigi.
Word, Tiago. All right, back to my boys on the tower.
Yeah, thank you very much, GT, with Tiago Perez, who got the best of the European battle.
He did. One of nature's gentlemen, Tiago. It's really great to see him on tour. He adds a cultural flair to the whole proceedings, doesn't he?
He certainly does. And when the swell's up, he's a surfer that really puts his hand up. He actually charges really hard. And we were doing a couple of interviews last week, Nick, and I had an interview with, I'm pretty sure it was Luke Munro, and he really surprised me. We asked all the surfers on tour who their wild card was for this event, who's a bit of a dark horse. And I'm pretty sure it was one of the guys, I think it was Luke Munro, that actually said Tiago Perez. It really surprised me. No disrespect for Tiago, but it was odd to hear. You usually hear the guys like Jamie O'Brien, but it was really good to hear someone say, Tiago Perez, he threw him in the mix.
Maybe it's because Luke has seen a lot of Tiago on the QS tour and just knows how hot he is. Paddling deep on the inside here, Andy Irons, first wave for Andy, judging it nicely, going high. I don't know if he's going to come out of that, though. The thing just pinches him off. Really, just a wave a little bit too small, really, and it shifted off that shallow part of the reef and into one of the trenches, and Andy got pinched off. I guess he was going for gold. He wanted a 9 to start with. He's not going to get that. I think 1.5 for Andy Irons. Currently leading this heat. Timmy Rose with 3 rides, but an incredibly neutral score of 5.17. Here goes Aritz Aranburu from Spain, catching his first ever wave in WCT competition. Fantastic.
Yeah, not a great wave there from Aritz, but, the good news is it can only get better. It's not going to be a big score at all there for Aritz Aranburu. As we see a bit of a set approaching the lineup, surfers in position. Who we got? Looks like surfer in white.
It looks like Timmy's going very deep here, though. He goes high, knowing it's his only chance, but it's not a good enough chance, unfortunately. He's unstuck and off out the back. Very similar ride to Andy's there.
Yeah, won't be a big score there for Timmy Rose, who's currently ranked number 13 in the world. He is, of course, from Southern California. He grew up at Huntington Beach. It's hard to think that he is so good in the big stuff, but believe it, folks, he's amazing when the swell gets big. As I said, he's currently ranked 13th. At the beginning of the year at the Quicksilver Pro, he finished 9th. He got beaten by Jeremy Flores. Down there at the Bells, he finished 17th. So not too bad. Pretty solid beginning of the year for Timmy.
As you were saying, Mitch, he did have an injury that took him out of proceedings. It actually hampered him for a couple of events beforehand, before he decided it was pointless to continue. And what hides underneath his stats right now is an average heat score so far this year of 13.41. That's pretty high, okay? It's higher than what his ranking would indicate. So this guy, it would suggest that this guy's got bigger things in store this year so far.
Yeah, I agree there, Nick. And well, hopefully as this heat goes on, we will see a few sets to see Timmy get that high heat score averages. Right now, we're going to cross to a quick ad. We'll be right back.
And welcome to... Yeah, I don't want to really... I'm going... Billabong. I'll try it again. Is the camera on me? It's pointing that way. It doesn't look like it is. Oh, I'm on the side. Is that right? Yeah. What do you mean? But what was it? So I'm still looking in the camera, right? Okay. What was the last of that? Wetsuit. My mates over here are there. They're over there. I thought they'd be here though. enjoy the website.
Yeah, welcome back to live action. This is Heat 5, round number 1. Thus far, no big scores have been locked in. Timmy Reyes has a 3.17. That right there is the highest scoring wave of the heat. On screen, Joel Parkinson, who will be surfing in the next heat. Looks like Joel's on board with, looks like Freddie P. Freddie P's girlfriend, Melissa. And he's a surfer, Joel Parkinson, that you know wants to go big in 2008.
He does, yeah. I mean, he watched his mate Mick Fanning win a world title last year. It's not like he's hanging his hat on that, but he'd really like one of them too if he could manage it. Up and riding right now, Aritz Aranburu. You can see he's got that ankle strap. He's that keen to surf that maybe the ankle's not perfect yet, but he's still out there. He's going, God, I just want to get into this WCT world and feel it out a little bit. Nice heat to start with, you got to admit. He's got Andy Irons, a 3-time world champ, legend of the sport, and Timmy Reyes, one of the most, dramatically skillful and energetic surfers on tour. And he's out there with both those guys, probably feeling it right now, I reckon.
No, without a doubt. And there were so many rumours going around the camp that Aritz couldn't even walk. His ankle was so bad. Then I had a surf out here yesterday afternoon, and I saw a surfer as I was kayaking up the point. I saw someone from a far distance doing a couple of huge entries, and I got closer and closer. I realised it was Aritz. So straight away, those rumours got to rest. And
so he can't work, he can't walk, but he can surf like a maniac. Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. One of those days, though, you know, people have been waiting for this event to start for, what, 6 days now?
Yep, it's been 6 days.
And, so they're out, you know, it's been a lot of public holidays over the last few days here in Tahiti, Mitch. It seems like every day is a public holiday when the Billabong Pro's on down here.
Oh, without a doubt. The parties hit town. There's been all sorts of festivities. There's been concerts. Jonathan Frankenreiter played a couple of days ago. There's been all sorts of shenanigans going on over here in Tahiti. We've been having a great time. Right now we're watching Andy Irons, who's won 3 world titles in his time. And in 2008, you know he wants to get back on that horse. He's had 2 5th placed in 2008, 2 quarterfinal finishes. And hopefully he keeps that ball rolling here at Teahupoo. We caught up with Andy through the week, asked him a few questions, and one was just talking about his equipment. It's so interesting how many boards these guys bring over to Tahiti.
Oh yeah, you just have to have backups, and it's not really the size range of boards. It's a lot to do with what size range fits you. Right now, up and riding on the inside, Andy Irons. He's coming for a little one here, Andy. Just snapping high, coming unstuck, and just landing down. Of course, he's one of the few surfers in the world who'll happily go over the falls and somehow avoid the coral. I don't know how he does that,
and come up with a big smile on his face.
Come up with a big smile on his face. So, fortunately, we tracked Andy down and we talked to him about his equipment. Let's hear what he's got to say about that.
On like just 2 or 3 foot day, I just ride a normal shortboard, 6'2", 18.5, 2 1/4, squash tail. And if it's a little bigger, you know, a 5 foot range, maybe a 6'4", step up, and maybe go round pin, and usually an all glass on fins. Anything bigger than that, I'll go like, you know, the maximize when it's just before you can toe in, maybe a 7.0. But I wouldn't ride anything over that, just because of the way it gets so steep. You don't really want to have too much length because you can pearl.
Well, there you go. And guarantee, Andy, if he's got 7.0s, 6.4s, 6.2s, then he's probably got about 6 of each. Because the danger here is not that you'll choose like a board that's an inch too long or an inch too short. The thing is that you'll take out a board and it'll just snap first wave.
Yep.
And you've just got to have backups. You can't do without them here.
Yeah, most of these surfers travel with 10 to 15 boards. I know Mick Fanning brought over 16, and a couple of the Billabong team, they actually have the luxury of getting their boards containered over months prior to this event, so they have, you know, maybe 20 boards.
Astonishing, really, isn't it? But wouldn't you? I would.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Of course you would.
15 minutes remaining. On screen, Frepatasia Jr., one surfer that surfs this place pretty damn well. Finished 2nd position a couple of years ago to Bobby Martinez, and you will see Freddie P come up a little later in the day.
Yeah, you know it. He's rightly confident of his abilities out at this spot.
It's funny, the Hawaiians, guys like that, they're so comfortable with reef breaks, aren't they? They've grown up surfing them.
They have, and they'll surf until the day they can't surf anymore, and it's just home, you know. The same way that sand point breaks are home to the Gold Coast crew, and little beach breaks are home to the Huntington Beach crew, and all that gear, you know. It's what you're used to that counts for so much in your surfing, whether you be a top professional or just a hacker at your local beach.
Yep, without a doubt. There's 14 minutes remaining, 14 minutes on the clock. That is Manoa Drelay, I believe, sitting on the back of a jet ski, waiting for his heat that will go down a little later in the day.
Yeah, he's got a blower of a heat too. One of the most potentially exciting heats of the day against Kelly Slater and CJ Hobgood. Up and riding right now outside. Andy Irons pulls in high, extremely deep. Andy getting his head caught up in the lip there and holding him back, but I don't think the Wizard of Oz could have pulled out of that one.
No, it was super tight, that barrel, and Andy just got clipped from the lip and went down. Right now, Andy hasn't had a solid score on the board. He's currently in third position, looking for 3.91 to sneak up into the lead. Second place is white Timmy Reyes. Timmy's had a 3.17 and a 2.0. Requires a 2.24 to move up into first position. And right now, it is the surfer that has the bad injury, Aritz Aranburu, with the current heat lead. On screen right now, the go-to 11 replay. That was Andy Irons.
Yeah, you can see that involuntary head dip with the lip there right now outside. There's a bit of a set coming. Guys paddling a little wider, looking for the wide peak. This west bowl sort of wave. It actually kind of looks a little like pipe in a way, Mitch. It's sort of squaring up a short but deep wave up and riding now. Timmy Reyes gets the best of this one. He's up high, comes through it nicely. Easily done there for Timmy. Comes out on the face, hacks off the top. Runs down on the inside. Yeah, it has to go for a Rio. But, you know, the points have been scored already, and that's going to throw him comfortably into the lead in this heat, I would think.
Yeah, I think that will be the highest scoring wave of the heat thus far. It was a solid set. It was nearly a real Teahupoo barrel there for Timmy. Didn't get all that deep, but as you said, Nick, it will be a score.
Yeah.
As we see Joel Parkinson on screen getting set for his heat. I believe that is Bruce Irons to the left in that camouflage hat. Bruce is in one of the last heats of the day. He will surf against Dane Reynolds and Michael Campbell. Joel Parkinson in the next one. That's going to be an exciting battle. Parko up against Ben Dunn and Chris Ward. As we look to the go-to 11 replay once again. The action replay. Here we go.
Check out Timmy's judgment here. He drives up high, places himself high, holds himself high, comes out real easy. Very relaxed looking turn there. Throws a lot of splay, but it's enough for him. He gets a 7.33 on that wave. And it's enough to put him way out in front. Let's have a look at it from a slightly different angle here. You'll see the line he draws here from the base up a little higher because he can see the way the thing's going to go armoured. It's not going to go square. So he's got to be high to make it. Throws spray hard off the top. Comes out the end. Just quick throwaway semi-air. Wasn't too worried if he made that one or not. He got the score and now he's well out in front. He's kind of thrown it down to Andy there. I think that those two surfers have been kind of fencing and foxing through this heat, waiting to see which of them is going to get a pretty good scoring ride first. Timmy's the man, and Andy now needs a really solid score of 9 to catch up.
Yeah,
or maybe a couple of scores.
Yeah, a couple of scores, break it down. But I believe Tim Reyes actually got looked after on that last one. He didn't get all that deep, did he? It was a pretty open barrel.
I was wondering if maybe the judges went for the judgment. You know, like they saw how he'd made the decision about what to do quite early and carried it through with real efficiency. Came out and blew it off the top really nicely and very calmly. I think so. Maybe they were just like impressed, most of all, with his ability to judge the wave early and carry it out to the tee and not kind of panic and blow it. You know, because guys have been blowing waves all heat. They've been blowing waves all morning this morning, trying to pull into waves that don't open up, positioning themselves incorrectly on takeoff. All the sort of little things that happen in round one heats. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, agree with you there. And another element that could have come into factor was maybe that this is a slow heat as well, and the boys have blown all those waves, so the judges actually reward something when they see it.
That's right. Well, here's Andy going for a wave now. He knows he needs a moderate score to kind of fill in the gap between him and Timmy, give himself a shot at this heat. So he goes, bam, off the top, blows it though, blows it out. Won't get much of a score on that one, Mitch. And Andy will be starting to think, what the heck? I want to get something here. There's 10 minutes left in the heat.
But I'll tell you what, he's looking pretty sharp right now, Andy Irons. Right now, we're going to cross to a quick ad. We'll be right back.
Sir, can you remember me? I'm the one that picked the up tree. Yes, sir, can you remember me? I've seen the forest from the tree. Yes, sir, can you remember me? I've seen the forest from the tree.
Yeah, welcome back to live action. This is Heat 5, Round 1. Andy Irons is out there in the red. Tim Rays is in the white. And Aritz Aranburu is in the black. And, if you haven't heard too much of Aritz, well, this is his first event on tour. He's had an injury. He got a terrible knee injury, then backed out with an ankle injury. And this is his first event on tour in his rookie season.
A little bit of a set approaching right now, Mitch. And, you know, one of those swells, because it's coming from the west, that if you're in the lineup, it's kind of hard to judge how far off the next set is. You know, when the swell's from the south-southwest, it'll wrap from well up on the reef, and you can see a set breaking in its first phase about 400 metres down the reef, and then the next phase of the set will move up onto Teahupoo itself. But one of these west swells, it's just swinging straight out of deep water. You've got to make your judgments really late as to which part of the reef you paddle onto. Teahupoo is a tricky reef to surf, and it's not because it's scary, right? It's because it's basically like a bunch of kitchen tables all shoved together with little gaps in between them, you know? And if you're position yourself over the top of one of those kitchen tables of reef, then you're going to catch a wave. But if you're over one of the gaps, you're in a hole. You can paddle all you like for that wave and you're going to miss it. And if you paddle from the wrong side, if you paddle for the wrong kitchen table, dude, you're going to get pinched. You'll take off and you'll run straight into that trough in the barrel, and that's where you see guys get pinched out here. It's especially true in a west swell because the waves are coming straight in. They're coming straight down the lines of those gaps. And in a south swell, they'll sort of wrap across and carry a bit.
Yep.
But in the west, they're coming straight in the square. So you've got to be right in the spot to make a barrel, you know?
Yeah, totally. And another, something else that comes into factor when you're out here at Teahupoo, it's definitely about, as you said, paddling into those tables, whatever. But as you look down the line when you're about to take off one of these waves, it's so hard to judge. It's the hardest wave to judge, and it's something that you'll never know unless you surf here at Teahupoo. Every wave you paddle into, you never exactly know where you're at. You always think you're a little too deep, then all of a sudden you stand up, you're on the shoulder.
Yeah. And that's super true today. The wave looks like it's way out there and you're too deep. All of a sudden, as you stand up, the thing swings straight back at you. And actually, you're in the spot. Andy Irons now in the spot. Pulls in, barreled, comes unstuck, over the falls. And another uneventful wave from Andy. He's got like 6.5 minutes left. It's not a long time, man. Timmy Ray's is holding the gun on him right now.
Here we go. Speak of the devil, Tim Ray's up and right on his backhand. Hard, big snap off the top. A lovely opening re-entry. Carving back to the power pocket. Looking for something more. Another little snap goes down. That score may go into Timmy's top two. Looking at the edge of 3.17 at this point. And it looks as though he may have... Well, Andy may have broken his board, so Mark Okalupo, he has come into the game. You mentioned Oki was his caddy. Well, he's a useful caddy today.
Man, this heat's not been one of Andy's finest competitive moments so far. He's got to be going. What do I do to deserve a snap board? It's like 3-foot chopes. I surfed out here at 8 to 10 foot waves, and I'm snapping boards in 3-foot waves trying to catch Timmy Reyes. Here he goes. This is the wave that snapped it. He pulled in with a layback. I love that. A layback tribute to Simon Anderson there from Andy Irons, but it pulled him unstuck and snapped his board into the process. So I guess that's the story. Never try to copy Simon Anderson.
But on the replay, that wave did look a little heavy on screen. One of the Tahitian locals has actually got the top half of that board.
Yeah, we got your eye on you, buddy. You going to take that one to town? Is that going home? Or is that going back out to sea? We'll wait and see, ladies and gentlemen.
Just past the 5-minute mark in this one. 5 minutes remaining.
And a sudden change in the weather here, Mitchie. A breeze coming up from the classic trade wind direction of southeasterly here, and it looks like maybe we're going to get a shower or two today. There was a little rain last night, and it's been dry as a stick so far. We can tell maybe the weather is changing with the arrival of this swell.
Well, fingers crossed that swell does come. It looks like Andy Irons has found something on the inside in the tube. Nice and deep on this one. A great little tunnel.
Oh, yeah. Well, you changed the right board there, Andy. Very nice tube right there, and it's going to give him a pretty good score. You never know. He may pull this out, you know. He basically needs 2 5-point rides, and he's back in the game here.
I believe that was better than a 5 as well.
I think it probably was.
It was one of those inside waves. It wasn't one of the biggest sets of the heat, but it was one of those ones that just grind along. And here we go on the action replay, the Go to 11 action replay, very deep in this barrel.
This is the business end, and Andy Irons judging this beautifully. You can see he knows he's going to make it from about halfway along there, so he's quite relaxed about the wave hitting him. It's not going to bother him too much. Outside now, Aritz Aranburu getting a nice little barrel himself, coming around, hack, and release out through the back.
And checking out that replay of Andy, I think that's going to be a pretty solid score. He's definitely back in the game. There he is on screen. He knows the momentum's starting to swing in his direction. There's still enough time. Here at Teahupoo, 3 minutes is a lot of time in a heat.
Can be, huh?
And because it's such a short paddle, isn't it? While we see Andy Irons make his way out into the lineup, waiting for scores to drop, we're going to cross to GT, who has a bit of an interview in the channel.
Well, actually, not an interview. We're on the move right now. We had to move our boat around. As you said, the weather has changed. The wind's coming up from the southeast. If you look that direction, it looks like there's some rain on the way as well. Our board caddy of choice in this heat, Mark Akalupo, got his work with Andy breaking a board. But you can see as we're pulling down the lineup here, all the boats are starting to fill up the channel. We just saw Mick Fanning come out. Freddie P's been here. We got the Billabong wake boat. And we're going to just maneuver right back into spot as everybody is eager to see these upcoming heats. And we'll see if Timmy Reyes can hold on, and we'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, GT. Just hanging out down in the channel. Scores are in last of red. Andy Irons was a 7.0. So, as we said, Nick Carroll, it's game on. Here we go.
He's right back in the game now, Andy. He's only got 2 minutes to go right now. It's very, very tight stuff, but he's in position. Man, he's holding an inside position right now on Timmy Reyes, which means that he's kind of in the slot. It's interesting to fade back here about 10 minutes into this heat, and remember that wave that Andy did a couple of strong snaps on and then fell off on his third move. He got a 2.5 for that. If he'd made that little semi-360 spin thing he tried, he'd be in the lead in this heat right now.
Yeah,
wow.
I think you're spot on there.
He's really going to remember remaining. That. You know? Yeah,
and that's a good point you brought up there, Nick Carroll. So Andy looking for 3.51, Aritz Aranburu looking for 6.18. This is Heat 5. Coming up next, Heat 6.
That's right, Heat number 6. It'll be a really nice heat, I suspect. Joel Parkinson, Ben Dunn, Chris Ward, continuing the flow of natural foot surfing out here at Teahupoo. They'll have been watching this heat very, very closely, and they'll be making better and better judgments with each heat as they watch these conditions develop through the day. Parker, obviously, the man to beat in that heat. Benny Dunn, the dark horse. Chris Ward, who knows what Ward will come up with.
As we see live action, that was Aritz Aranburu in the tube, goes down,
Smash.
And looks like he will have to go to round 2 on this one.
Totally. 40 seconds to go now. Andy's got to think that his hopes are evaporating. I mean, yeah, there's still time. There may be a wave. There's a small wave rising up in front of him right now. He's basically he's got to choose a wave out of the next 2 waves or he's going to be out of time. 20 seconds remaining. He lets the first wave of that set go. There is a wave outside. Oh no, there's a wave on the inside here. Here he goes.
Big snap off the top there for Andy. Comes around for another one. Big blast. That's a score right there. Some huge maneuvers.
And with 6 seconds to go outside, Timmy Reyes comes flying back at him, draws a beautiful line. High, done.
What do you reckon?
I think he pulled that one off.
I think he did too.
Unbelievable.
Gosh, Andy Irons, he's been in that position so many times in the past. And 10 seconds remaining, he stroked into a nice inside left, went vertical twice, third manoeuvre. He didn't complete, but I think he got the score prior to that last manoeuvre. As we go to the action replay,
Be hard.
We go to
They
11
didn't
replay.
give it to him, and this positioned it beautifully. Oh, this board looked better than the one he snapped. Out on the shoulder, turning again, and got a third turn in there as well. Gave him a 4.27 and comes away with the victory there. Andy Irons winning yet another.